Now, moving to something more exciting that y'all are probably all wondering about is Tesla's Plaid Model S. You know, the flagship Model S dropped in 2012, hasn't really had that big of an update. Elon Musk been teasing us about Plaid for pretty much years now, and they said at Battery Day, when we were expecting it to come out in like Q4 2020, this last quarter, they said it was going to come out in late 2021. This was a huge letdown. Everyone forgot about Plaid, but now the rumors have started heating up again. Kilowatts originally said they found one in the wild. Then I tweeted at Elon being like, yo, were you seeing back in the timeline? Is that Plaid Model S coming out? He gets me the winky face. And then actually, just as I'm recording this now, the Kilowatts has actually found another, what looks like even more promising picture of potentially leaked prototype of a Plaid Model S that was driving around near the Fremont factory. So adding this all together, I mean, and there's a bunch of, the inventory of Model S and X has been pushed way out. The delivery times have been pushed way out. There was even some Model S and X in certain showrooms that have been removed. So I think this is adding up, and the conference call is the perfect time to kind of make this announcement. Potentially, although I don't know, I think they could have had a full product event, but the Plaid Model S, my gut tells me there's like a 75 to 80% chance the Plaid Model S gets announced on the earnings call. This is so epic. This is, it's going to totally be the fastest Tesla car ever. It's going to be the first electric car ever to have 500 miles of range. I mean, everything that everyone thought was cool about the Lucid, the performance, the range, I think that's going to be totally outdone by the Plaid Model S. And it's going to be the new supercar of electric cars. And I think it might be one of the fastest cars on the road in general, like sub 2 seconds, 0 to 60 time. Like that's insane. And to put a car with 520 plus miles of range on the road, just an incredible feat. And most of that performance, along with that new Plaid powertrain, to me, what's even more exciting than the Plaid Model S just coming out, the sexy sports car, it's not really going to move the needle for Tesla financially. Maybe it will a little bit, like, the Tesla does make a lot of gross profit on those Model S and X, but they just don't sell that many units. 9 or 10,000 a quarter versus, 100,000 plus Model 3 and Y. That gap's only widening. We can get a bump from the Plaid, but it's not really a financial needle mover. But the key thing about the Plaid Model S is it has the 4680 cell. Now, this isn't a perfectly decized replica, but I got to give a shout out to Ian and Ballard for hooking me up with this, but it's a 4680 cell. And this, to me, is the most exciting part of the Plaid Model S. The Plaid Model S will be the first Tesla product with these 4680 cells. The 4680 cell at Battery Day, we all know, hyperchangers, we've been OG on this, that Tesla's bringing battery cell production in-house. Instead of using batteries, the 2170 cells that were built by Panasonic, like are in my Model Y, the Plaid Model S is supposed to have Tesla's new in-house 4680 cell. So we don't know much about the 4680 cell. I mean, Elon put out this slide in Battery Day saying that we're going to hit 100 gigawatt hour production run rate by the end of 2022. That's huge. That'd be like more than all of Tesla's battery production in 2020 to build 500,000 cars. So Tesla's planning on building a massive amount of these batteries. Actually, they just put out a video on their YouTube channel of the battery supply production ramp sort of thing. So that to me is an interesting clue that the 4680 production line there at Cato Road is ramping really, really quickly. I actually got a tour of the production line, and even then, that was like 4 months ago. I mean, they had tons of batteries. They were flying them off the shelves. It looked like they were in the process of improving yield, refining equipment. But I don't know. I think they were... to me, it makes a lot of sense to be able to build enough batteries for just a few thousand of those Plaid Model S. Like, that's why it's such a genius product to start with the 4680 cell, because you don't, the Model 3 and Y, it's not like you could switch them all over at once. The Model S, a much lower unit volume, plus a much higher cost product, so you can amortize these expensive first cells that come off the line. So to me, why as an investor, I'm so excited about the Plaid Model S, and kind of as a Tesla fanboy and history of the electric vehicle movement, I almost want to get one, even though I feel like I can't really afford it, but whatever. I kind of want to get one. I don't need one, but I want to get one because to me, not because it's fast, I mean, the range is dope, and I hope it has the horizontal touchscreen. They make the body look dope, but because it has this 4680 cell. The 4680 cell, I mean, Tesla's value in the long term is how many cars they can produce, which is limited by how many batteries they can produce, times the value of autonomy per car. So the key enabler to Tesla scaling beyond a few million EVs per year in the long run, and to me, really changing the course of the trajectory of cost and performance of where the lithium-ion industry is headed, they need to commercialize their own in-house battery cell. And the biggest milestone to commercializing this cell is launching the Plaid Model S. So that's why in so many ways, as much as the Plaid Model S is kind of like this toy product, it represents the first product you can buy with Tesla's 4680 cell, this tabless electro design. I don't know if you can see that, but no tabs. And I don't know, I'm just kind of blown away that Tesla went from, acquiring Maxwell to doing this top secret R&D project to build battery cells in-house. And now we're sitting here just 4 or 5 months after Battery Day, and it looks like ready to deliver the Plaid Model S. So this would be a huge milestone. And this means to me, I mean, I think it's a lot easier to just ramp production once they have it versus that big step of like, we've never commercialized this form factor battery. We've never built our own batteries. Now we're going to put it in a car that people buy that needs to drive hundreds of thousands of miles all around the world or whatever. I mean, that's a huge step for Tesla to have passed the quality assurance there and have it actually working in a vehicle, not to mention the cell to structure format, which is potentially an equally big innovation as the tabless electrode, where these cells are actually part of the structural design of that Model S car. So if Tesla can pull this off, it's not about how fast it can go. It's not about the range it can go, but it's about the battery technology under the hood and what that means for ramping Model Y Berlin, which is going to use these 4680s, what that means for the Cybertruck, the semi-truck, the new Megapack projects. A lot of Tesla's growth, switching from, 50 to $200 billion in revenue, is hinging on the ramp of these 4680 cells. And that's why the Plaid Model S itself may not be material, but the milestone of commercializing the 4680 is. And that is why I think it's so important and worth really, really focusing on.